Hey everyone, I want to speak to consciousness, and I will, to consciousness, desire, how things come into being, and I want to share with you that you might not have thought about, depending on how versed you are in these teachings. So, Neville speaks to a couple of things that I will get into in a moment, and I will read to you from his book. And then you also have Carl Jung, who used to say, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Now, this is important to keep in mind because Neville says this in between the lines. He doesn't say it directly. But when you follow to the letter what he says, then the conclusion is until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. So I'm going to read to you from Neville and I will tie it together a bit later. He says, awareness is unconditioned. To be aware of being something or someone, that is conditioning the unconditioned. So awareness is unconditioned, it's just awareness exists, everything exists within awareness, but it is unconditioned until you are aware of it. That which is defined is less than the definer. Awareness of being is the Almighty God, the everlasting Father, upon whose shoulders is the government of the world. Awareness sustains and directs all things that it is aware of being. So now, consciousness. Consciousness of being is the eternal womb impregnating itself through the medium of desire. So through the medium of desire, your consciousness has a desire, and through that, it impregnates itself. So the desire gives you the thing, because as soon as you have a desire, there's also an expression, ask and it is given. Like everything is now, so it cannot be different than it is existing instantly as you have the desire, because if you didn't have the desire, if the thing wasn't there, you could not have the desire, because how can you desire something that doesn't even exist? It's not possible. If you can imagine it, it exists. So through desire, you impregnate the eternal womb of that consciousness. Now, when you have things in your life, so this is a sidestep, but also a tying together of things, all at once. When you have something in your life that you say you don't want, it is not possible, because you can only outpicture that which you desire, what you are conscious of being. So desire has to be taken in a broader context than how we often use it, because when we say desire, we usually mean it as something that we want. But when we have something that we don't want, it can only exist by virtue of us having desired that thing. And now Carl Jung comes into play, because he says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. You can also say it like so. Until you understand what the fuck you are desiring in the quiet of your mind, what you are focusing on, because when you are aware of being that, it means you desire it. It doesn't mean that you want it in a happy clappy way, but it does mean that you desire it based on something unconscious that you are playing out. Now, I'm going to go into teachings of more teachers here. Like, for instance, Bashar says that you have beliefs, limiting beliefs, and Seth says the same, limiting beliefs. And when you start to dig and uncover, then you can find out how it is that you outpicture things. Because your limiting belief ties in with the desires that you have. So let's say a limiting belief is everything always goes wrong for me. So everything always goes wrong for me is the awareness of being of everything. I am someone that has things always go wrong for me. And so the desire is I F shit up. And it's not a desire that you want, but it is a desire in the language that doesn't mean I love this, but in the language of Neville, how he uses it here, desire is all of it. And as soon as you're aware of being someone who messes things up, voila, you have a life experience that you're like, oh my God, I don't want this. Why do I have this? It's because you don't know the contents of your mind. You don't know what you are attaching your I am to. So the way out of this is like, how do you say it? I wanted to say it's multiple. It's not correct English, but I think you know what I mean. There are different ways out of this predicament, so to say. I'm thinking, am I going to go in that here? No, not necessarily. I'm not going to go in that here in this video. I just wanted to let you know that it's important to understand that everything that you have is an outpicturing of a desire that you have created the other side of the coin of. You have actually worn the suit. Because when there is a desire, there's not necessarily an outpicturing instantly, but it does exist. The outpicturing is a probability in the infinite reality of probabilities. But for you to have it, to have the experience of it, you have to feel, be in the state of being of the person having the desire. So when you have something you say you don't want, you had the desire and you wore the suit that says, this matches the desire, I am that. So when you want to stop outpicturing what you are seeing now, you have to become clear on who you say that you are. This is it for now. I think this is a very important distinction that you have to understand in order for you to create something different. And I'm making daily videos, and most of the videos are really valuable. There's good information in there, but I can't force feed you. You have to want to know this stuff. So I told many of you many times that have been watching my videos, ask me anything. My details are in the description. You can do whatever you want. It is your life. And as I said, I cannot force feed this to you. You have to want it. And I'm going to leave it at this for now. A fit mind creates a beautiful body and an epic life. You've got this. I've got you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.